Ubisoft just dropped one of the most unexpected news of all time, which is Assassin's Creed Shadows getting an official second delay. Now, instead of the game releasing on February 14th, which was supposed to be the Valentine's Day, whereas now Ubisoft has decided to push the game's launch and they've delayed the game an entire month. Now, this is of course not something we fans have been expecting. It just came out of the blue, especially since Ubisoft just released a brand new gameplay footage for the parkour system, and they were just promoting their game and stating that the game was still going to be coming out on February 14th this year. Unfortunately, this is the message that's coming from official Assassin's Creed Twitter page, where they say that Assassin's Creed Shadows will now release on 20th March 2025. And this is the message that they have to share with us. Now, dear players, we want to extend our heartfelt thanks to our incredible fans and dedicated teams for your unwavering support since our announcement in September to further refine and polish Assassin's Creed Shadows. Now, since November, we've been thrilled to share our progress through gameplay overviews, and the overwhelming excitement has truly inspired us. Each week has brought valuable feedback from our community. While we have already made remarkable strides, we believe a few additional weeks are needed to implement that feedback and ensure an even more ambitious and engaging day one experience. The new release date is going to be March 20th of 2025, and we remain committed to delivering a high-quality, immersive experience fostered by ongoing dialogues between our players and the development teams. Now, we know that you're eager to learn more about Assassin's Creed Shadows, and we're excited to share more about the updates which will be coming out very soon. Mark Alexis Cortez on behalf of all the teams that's working on Assassin's Creed Shadows. Now, keep this in mind. The reason why Ubisoft is delaying this game for the very second time is because they've just mentioned this on this whole message that they've just sent here. Well, now it seems like the main reason is because each week as they brought in valuable feedback from our community, which means that they've been watching all of the YouTube videos, they've been looking at all the different comments that you guys have been putting down on all of those YouTube videos, and also on Twitter and most of the social media platforms, and a lot of people have been giving criticism for this game, basically asking the developers on what kind of new stuff that they want to see being added to the game and what kind of stuff that they're not really interested in. Now, they've already seen by releasing all of the new gameplay footages and all that stuff, including the combat footage, including the new latest parkour footage, and they've been seeing how and in what way do these fans actually criticize the game. Is it something that they're getting excited about, or is it something that they're actually feeling like that, Ubisoft should be changing this stuff, adding that stuff? It's a lot of community feedbacks, and Ubisoft is pretty open for the very first time, where they are now saying that they're going to be improving the game. While we've already made remarkable strides, we believe that a few additional weeks are needed in order to implement from the feedbacks and to ensure a more ambitious and engaging day one experience. Now, we know that Assassin's Creed Unity was a big lackluster, and that game eventually had so many bugs when the game came out. But as of now, if you play Assassin's Creed Unity, I think a lot of people are actually loving that game because there's a lot of bugs that have been fixed, and the game still looks very ahead of its time in terms of graphics, in terms of gameplay mechanism, and also the storyline. It's one of the best Assassin's Creeds that has ever been made. Now, one of the major reasons as to why Ubisoft has delayed this game, it's not just about feedbacks, it's not just about what fans have to say or whether or not if the game is ready. And a lot of people have also been stating that, the game is not ready. Ubisoft knows it themselves that the game is trash. I mean, honestly, guys, get over this stuff. We know that Ubisoft is a company that we all love hating, and they've always been screwing things up, but this time it's not the same. Ubisoft is making some very strategic moves, and the very big reason as to why today Ubisoft decided to go ahead and announce the delay message for Assassin's Creed Shadows is because of this new leadership that has been changed inside of Ubisoft. Now, Jeff Keighley, the guy behind all the Game Awards, now he brought this information out just a couple minutes ago, where he states that Ubisoft today confirmed that leading advisors have been hired to look at transformational strategies and capitalism options to extract the best value for stakeholders. Now, a lot of people have been stating that, the reason why Ubisoft delayed the game is probably because the game is not ready, the game is bad and whatnot, but that's not the reason, okay? The entire reason here is all because they want to satisfy the stakeholders, which means that the people that are holding Ubisoft shares and the people that have invested in order to develop Assassin's Creed Shadows, and these guys are like the first priority for Ubisoft, and right now it seems like they're focusing only on these guys, and they want to make sure that their investors are happy, due to which they have now assigned a new leader, and apparently this new leader, we don't know who that is or whatever the names have not yet been mentioned. Now, apparently this guy, whoever is in the new current leadership, he has apparently transformed the way that Ubisoft works and transformed the strategies and capitalism of their entire release plans and how they can benefit much more if they delay this game. Now, honestly, don't know what kind of benefits they might be getting from all of this new delays. I think they're probably planning on holding another shareholder meeting in a private session, and in that meeting they're probably going to be discussing a lot of different stuff that only the highest shareholders are possibly going to be getting all of those informations, and probably they have a new plan as to what makes them think that Assassin's Creed Shadows being delayed is going to be offering them much more profit, and then in return all of the shareholders are going to be happy. Now keep this in mind that this is probably going to be like the last stand for Ubisoft, because if for whatever reason Assassin's Creed Shadows doesn't end up being as good as what Ubisoft is pretending for the game to be, I think this is probably going to be like the final stand for Ubisoft. They're probably going to get sold out or being bought by Tencent, or even Sony is actually ready in order to acquire Ubisoft. So any of these companies, they could eventually take over Ubisoft if Assassin's Creed Shadows ends up failing. Now, Jason Schreier, one of the most reliable guys when it comes to insider informations, now he actually gave us some insight about what could possibly happen if Ubisoft fails and what's actually going on in the current situation with Ubisoft. Now, this is what Jason Schreier said, that the release of Assassin's Creed Shadows could tell us a lot. If it's a hit, Ubisoft will have more time as the Guillemot family sorts out the company's future. If it flops, we might be seeing a drastic reorganization happening very soon, be it a buyout or complete sale of the company. Michael Legacy Killer HD also replied to this tweet where he said that so everything is riding on Assassin's Creed Shadows, one of the most controversial upcoming games ever. Honestly, I don't think Ubisoft kind of expected this to happen for this game to be controversial. I think they should have gone with more of a Japanese character rather than going for Yasuke, because they're on the verge of this whole company falling apart, and you know, this turned out to be like the most controversial games of all time. And if it flops, then Ubisoft, as we know, is gone. They're definitely going to be gone, and this is going to be the last time we might end up seeing Ubisoft. If they need to stay on the line, if they need to exist, I think Assassin's Creed Shadows is one of the most important projects that they have worked on in their entire career. Now, the mass layoffs are going to happen, studio closures are going to happen. Already, we've already seen like a couple of Ubisoft studios have been shut down. There's a lot of layoffs. So many people lost their jobs. So many developers, talented guys that actually had to leave the team because X-Defiant was recently closed down. And along with it, studios that was also shut down for Ubisoft in Toronto. Now, if the game also gets cancelled, there's going to be a new management. Now, however, I don't think the game is going to get cancelled because it's like their last stand and something that Ubisoft has been working on for a very long time. Now, if it succeeds, then the Guillemot families buys themselves more time. Crazy pressure, man. Honestly, I think at this point, you know, the Guillemot family, they are at the highest pressure of all time in the entirety of gaming companies so far. Because this is either going to be a live or die situation for Ubisoft. And I don't think they've ever noticed a pressure like this in their entire life before. And this is exactly what happens if a company decides to go woke, they completely go broke. And that's just the reality. I think it's finally paying off. I think they finally realized that, you know, they need to make what fans want. And probably the reason why they're kind of, you know, delaying the game, it's not because the game is bad, guys. Obviously, if the game is bad, Ubisoft knows that they're pretty much just screwed and they need to come up with new ideas. So they'll probably release like an entire remake of like an original Assassin's Creed game. They could simply just release Assassin's Creed Ezio's trilogy as a full-on remake, and no matter how bad the game is still going to sell. Obviously, they're still going to make money. They're still going to come out of this whole situation. But the reason why they're focusing on Shadows is because they've put a lot of effort into this game. There's a huge budget that went on to this game as well. So definitely, I'm hoping that this game is going to be good. However, it turned out to be one of the most controversial game, especially because of Yasuke. I think they should have reconsidered that whole situation before they went on with that character. They should have probably gone with a Japanese protagonist, but they screwed up this whole situation very bad. And also, I'm just guessing, you know, it's not a confirmed information. Probably the second reason as to why the game could have gotten delayed. It's because they probably did not receive the amount of pre-orders that they were expecting. So usually with all Assassin's Creed games, they would probably have like a number, the target that's kind of set out. Those numbers are always going to be exceeded or at least achieved to some limits. But this time, for the very first time, people have given up on Ubisoft. They're not pre-ordering their game. This is a bad situation for the company. So this means that, they are taking a huge L this year. Everything is going to be depending on this game. And the big news is that the game is now delayed to March 20th, 2025. So we still have to wait like more than a month as of now. And hopefully, crossing my fingers, hope this game is going to be good and hope they remove as much Vogue stuff from the game as possible. Because if they do end up having those Vogue stuff or Vogue missions in the game, I'm pretty sure it's going to backfire on this company so freaking bad that they will lose everything that they built so far. So they better keep this in mind and go with the flow and make sure to provide what consumers want. And I think that is pretty much it. I think Ubisoft will survive if they do it and give good games, good quality games, and especially what players want. So yeah, I would love to know what your thoughts are. Leave them down below in the comments. Do you guys think that the delay is actually good, or do you think that it's bad? Whatever your thoughts are, leave them in the comments. I would love to read it and reply to as many of you guys as I possibly can. Now, with that being said, if you guys did go on and enjoy this video, please just take a few seconds of your valuable time, drop a like on this video. It really goes a long way for me as a creator. It helps the channel out a lot. It helps the videos a lot, and your support is much appreciated. So thank you guys so much for showing your support on my different types of content that I've also been doing lately. It really means a lot because I'm trying to expand the type of content that I'm going to be doing in my future. And I'm going to be covering a lot of gaming content, conspiracy content. I'm going to be doing a lot of biblical theories and also covering all of the stuff that's going on in the world, weird, bizarre stuff. So it's very entertaining. So basically the channel is going to have a lot of different entertaining content. And we're also going to be starting off a new podcast with some of the other content creators that I'm trying to set up in order to have like a massive podcast show in the coming future, where we're going to be discussing about all the video games, conspiracy theories, and basically a lot of fun stuff. There is a lot of things that I've planned for the future of this channel. I really hope things works out, and I hope for you guys to support me, and please just put up with all the different types of content that I'm sharing on this video, because I'm trying and testing new things out, and only with all of these different tests that I'm doing as of now with the channel is how the entire podcast team is going to be built on. So please put up with me in all of these new changes on the channel, and I really hope you guys do enjoy the content. And with that being said, I will see you guys on the next one. Make sure to subscribe, turn the notifications on, and don't forget to set your notification settings to all, because that way is the only way you guys get notified on all the videos that I upload every single day. Because right now I'm uploading probably like 3, 4, 5 videos a day. So there is a lot more content. Make sure to subscribe, and I will see you guys on the next one. Till then, take it easy, fams, and goodbye.